Welcome back, Double Leg fam. It is time for the Double Leg Premium exclusive show. We're going to go over our bets for UFC Vegas 80, give you insight a little bit on each and every one of them. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it with the main event. Grant Dawson, Bobby Green, what you got on this one, if anything?
Yeah, this one I laid off completely. I was about to take Grant Dawson inside the distance, but um, I don't know. I just have a weird feeling about this fight. I think Grant Dawson wins. I think he gets it done inside the distance, but I got so many plays out right now. I was like, you know what? If I'm on the fence about a couple, I'm just gonna leave them off, and this is one of them. So
Well, I hope he does it because that's my biggest play on the card. I got Dawson inside the distance, minus 135, 2 units. Pretty rare that I would throw 2 units on an inside the distance play, but I think 25 minutes is a long time, especially if you're going to be on your back. If he's going to get a finish, it's going to be on the ground. So I would expect him to get it there early and wear him down and find a finish. So that's my only play on that one. I'm going to wait to go over the DFS stuff to the end just so I get it all at once. So if you're here for that, wait till the end or skip ahead. But I do have the under 4.5 in a parlay as well in that fight. Paired that up with the under 2.5 in the Dober and Ricky Glenn fight, plus 113 for 0.75 units. I think that's just too much time for both those guys to be in the same cage without one of them finding a finish. Co-main event, Abdul Razak Al Hassan and Joe Pyfer. What you got on that one?
yeah, so this one I'm taking this just for the odds. It's Joe Pyfer submission round 1 plus 1200 and submission round 2 plus 1600. And the reason being is that Joe Pyfer can obviously crack and he's got a ton of power. So does Al Hassan. And, Al Hassan's tough as well. So if Joe Pyfer can't find the big knockouts and Al Hassan starts landing some decent shots, I could see Joe Pyfer just taking Al Hassan down. That's one of Al Hassan's weaknesses. And once he gets on top, if he can't put him over with the strikes, I could see him trying to grab the neck. So it's a long shot. I'm not expecting it to hit, but if it does, we're going to look like geniuses and we're going to win a little bit of money.
Yeah, you would look like an absolute genius. I'm on the KO. Pyfer round 2 KO at plus 575 for a quarter of a unit. Pyfer round 3 KO plus 1200 for 0.1 units. I just think he takes it slow and picks his shots early. If Abdul's not fighting super aggressive, he won't be like forced to start banging it out. So I think he does it in round 2 most likely, but round 3 is live too because Abdul can gas out a little bit. And then I do have Joe Pyfer in a parlay with Drew Dober and Mateus Mendonça. That is plus 131 for a unit. We'll go to the third fight on the main card. Alex Morono, Joaquin Buckley. What you got on that one?
Yeah, so I wanted to get to Morono as a dog, but I just couldn't. And I also wanted to get to Buckley as the line started dropping, but I just could not do it either side. So, but what I did take was Alex Morono by round 3 KO at plus 2,500 for a tenth of a unit. And also Morono round 3 submission at plus 2,200. Just because if Buckley can't finish Morono and Morono keeps this thing going, there's a world where Buckley gets a little bit tired and Morono could find, that late sub when Buckley's shooting sloppy takedowns or even that knockout shot after he starts working the body and really getting Buckley tired. So if that hits, we're in the money for sure.
Yeah, I didn't get super invested in this one. I just went Morono by decision, plus 300, quarter unit. Pretty much seeing the same stuff that you did. Buckley's dangerous early. Morono, usually if it goes to decision, Morono wins because he's got that volume. We'll see how he deals with Buckley's movement, but at plus 300, I think it was worth a shot there.
Yeah.
With Drew Dober and Ricky Glenn, I already said I got Dober in a parlay, and that's the only thing I got on that one other than some DFS props, but I'll say those at the end. So that's all I got. What you got?
Yeah, I just got two. So I got Dober and Glenn under 2.5 rounds in a parlay paired up with Algio and Hernandez under 2.5 rounds and Felipe Lin's money line plus 520 for a quarter of a unit. It was just standing out to me. Those 3 plays, I'm like, what can I parlay this week? But I want to get some good odds. And those are my 3 plays that I thought, those have a good chance of hitting. I think Felipe Lin should be the favorite. And I thought Algio Hernandez I think both guys are coming out with something to prove. So had to pair all those three up. And then I also got Dober round 3 KO at plus 1400, just because, I think both of these guys could take it a little slower in this one, just because of what happened to each of them in their last fight. I think Dober's endurance is maybe a little bit better. I think as the fight goes on, I think Glenn, if he gets tired, Dober could really pour it on, and I'm hoping it happens in round 3.
Alexander Hernandez, Bill Algeo. What you got on that one?
So on this fight, I took Algeo Hernandez under 2.5 rounds at minus 105, and I took Bill Algeo on the money line when he shifted to the dog at plus 110. He was teetering. He was like minus 105, plus 105. And then I looked and got my plus 110, and now I don't even know what he's at right now. I'm hoping it's not better odds than that, but it's just, I didn't like him necessarily at minus 130 like he was earlier in the week, but as he's getting close to even money and dog money, it's like I don't know how you don't in this spot.
Yeah. I went with the over 2.5 in that fight.
Uh-oh.
I liked I just think Algeo's never been knocked out. Hernandez fighting the type of style fight that he fought last time, I think he probably takes that as like a good sign and maybe doesn't try to blow his load early. So I took the over minus 120 for 0.6 units. Nothing big. Just get a half unit back if we win it. I really couldn't pick a side on that one. I'm like, see both sides. And then, the line flip like you talked about. So I'm like, I don't know. I just laid off as far as a side.
Here's before we move on. Here's what I saw in the under 2.5. Really is that Algeo gets after the leg kicks and he throws good volume. I think he's going to force Hernandez to fight early. Like he's going to force him to just get into that firefight and shoot takedowns or something. I could see Hernandez getting tired, or I could see him catching him. Hernandez hits hard and he's dropping down a weight class. So I think it's interesting. It's a fun fight.
We got Felipe Lins and Iwan Kudalaba. I got the under 1.5 in this one. Minus 160 for a unit. Same thing here. I couldn't really pick a side between Lins and Kudalaba. I see it both sides. Lins has been good to us, but I didn't want to ride the train until it fell off. Because I don't have a good feeling about this one. Kudalaba's dangerous. And he can get finished as well. So that's why I took the under. I just thought it was a good play. Then taking a side in this one. What you got?
I ended up changing, and I went Felipe Lins on the money line at plus 115 for a unit. Just because after watching film and tape, like the guy stuffs takedowns and, on the feet, he's not really getting cracked as of late. I think Kudalaba, if he starts shooting takedowns and can't get them, the gas is going to go really, really fast. So I think Lins just has to survive and he wins. But I hedged out with Kudalaba round 1 KO at plus 250. So, if he wins in the first round by KO, so be it. We profit like a half unit. And if he doesn't, I think Felipe Lins wins no matter what if this thing goes into round 2. So, that's how I played it.
I almost took that Kudalaba round 1 as well, but I just decided to take the under. What do we got next? Karolina Kowalkiewicz and Diana Belbita. I believe we're on the same side here. Karolina, I got her at minus 138 for a unit. I think she's just fought the better competition. I know this could be a robbery type spot. That's why I'm not like going too hard on it because it is women's MMA stand up. You never really know what the judges are going to favor, but I would expect them to probably stay standing. I think Karolina probably picks the better shots and gets a win probably by decision. What you got?
Yeah, no, same here. I'm on Karolina. I took her for 2 units. I think after watching Belbita against Oliveira, even though she won, dude, I was not impressed in the least bit. And like maybe people are high on her. I know she's good looking. She's coming off of a win, but before that, man, she was struggling to buy a win in the UFC. And then she beats Maria Oliveira, who's like 1-5 in the UFC. And in that fight, she looked a little sloppy on the feet. Yeah, she was landing. But I think Karolina, with her experience, speed, her volume, like if she gets inside, it's going to be hard for Belbita to fight that style that she likes at range. Like if Karolina gets on the inside, I think she's just going to make it a kind of a dirty fight, and that's caters right to her. She's got a ton of experience, and I don't see Belbita looking as good against Oliveira, or even if she fought the way she did against Oliveira, I don't think it's good enough to beat Karolina.
We got Mateus Mendonça, Nate Maness. What you got on that one?
Under 2.5 for 1.15 units. I think Mendonça should win, and he's got a good pace, hits hard, good jiu-jitsu, good takedowns. And Maness too. He swings with ill intent as well. And it's just one of those spots where I think we see fireworks, and I think someone's getting finished in the distance.
Yeah, I like that too. I went with a side here. I took Mendonça inside the distance plus 150 for half a unit. And then I saw the round props, and I'm like, these are too good to be true. Mendonça round one plus 240 for a quarter of a unit. Half of his wins come in the first round, or more than half of his wins come in the first round. And half of those wins in the first round come by submission. So I took it, round one submission for Mendonça plus 1,600 for point 0.1 units. I mean, he's got 3 first round subs. Nate Maness just got subbed in the first round his last fight. I think somebody gets finished either way, but Mendonca's never been finished. So I think he's the one that's going to come out on top. And that's why I'm going with him. We got Kanako Murata, Vanessa Demopoulos. What you got?
Yeah, I took Demopoulos money line. Minus 300 for Murata, who's coming off of an injury, coming off of a layoff, and just really, got caught in the armbar in her last fight. That's Demopoulos's key signature move. So, yeah, I just thought these odds were jacked up. I think you could see Demopoulos come in there and make this look like a pick 'em, honestly. Like, even on the feet, I think Demopoulos is going to be scrappier. I think she's going to throw, a little bit more aggressively, and she'll be harder to take down than I think people realize. So I think this fight's a lot closer than the odds took. So I took her at +1 or +240 for a half unit.
Yeah, I took her as well on the money line, plus 285 for a quarter of a unit. And then I sprinkled inside the distance plus 600 for 0.2 units. And then I sprinkled round one sub plus 2,000 for 0.05 units. So pretty small sprinkle there. But Murata, her game plan is usually to go for the wrestling. And like nobody really wants to wrestle with Vanessa Demopoulos.
Yeah.
She's got the stripper guard. She's got the nasty armbar. I mean, she's got some pretty solid jujitsu, and on the feet, like you said, she's scrappy. Like she's gonna fight for your dollar at plus 285. I think it is worth a shot. Not knowing, how Murata's gonna look in her first fight back, especially after that arm break. Someone snatches up an armbar on her, she's probably gonna be like, "Oh shit, I don't want to get my arm broke again." Maybe she insta taps. You never know.
Yep.
So I think it's worth a shot there. We got 2 more fights left. Johnny Munoz, Arichi Long. What you got on that one?
Yeah, I took Johnny Munoz early at -110, 1.1 units. Um, when I watch Arichi Long, he's got some power. He doesn't really move his head or his feet much. He's hittable, and Johnny Munoz will at least throw some volume at him. He'll mix in the wrestling. I think he can win 2 rounds, and I think he's tough enough to not get knocked out by Arichi Long. So I had to stick with him. I'm just not big on Arichi Long. His only 2 wins in the UFC, Cameron Else and Jay Perrin, which Jay Perrin was taking him down. If Jay Perrin's taking him down, I think Johnny Munoz can as well. So I had to stay on that side with Munoz.
I didn't really like a side in this one too much. I just really couldn't get behind either guy. I ended up going with the over 2.5 rounds at
Mhm.
plus 108 for a unit. I thought at plus money that was like had to take it. I mean, Richie Long's been to 22 decisions in his career. Johnny Munoz, 5 of them. I mean, that's a little less than, exactly a third of his fights have gone to a decision. So I think it's worth it. Plus 108 for a unit there. That's all I got on that one. First fight of the night, our free play, Montana De La Rosa versus JJ Aldrich. We called it, right when we saw the line, basically. I was like, I'm going to be playing that. That's why I got it at minus 105 for Montana De La Rosa at a unit. I think she's now up to like minus 145. So glad we got in on that early. What you got?
Yep, Montana De La Rosa, 2 units, -115. And I'm glad we took it. Like we talked about this early in the week, the line moved. She's a bigger favorite now than that, so I feel good about that. I think we're on the right side. We beat the line movement, and if this cashes right off the bat, 2 units in the bag, free play hits, it sets up for a really good night. And I think she beats JJ.
Yeah. I'm expecting big things from our girl Montana De La Rosa. We'll see if that competition is that good when she goes up against JJ Aldrich. Go over the DFS props now. We'll start with underdog. First pairing, we got lower than 60.5 significant strikes paired up with lower than 8.5 minutes of fight time. It was a free play I gave out on my Instagram. I mean, Dawson never hit the number. Dober, I mean, they're going to be swinging from the start. So I think that fight ends maybe late second round, but I mean, as long as it doesn't hit the third round, I mean, I think we're good. Second pairing lower than 11 and a half minutes of fight time for Mendonça. We're basically just taking the under 2.5 there. And then paired that up with minus 2.5 significant strikes for Algio. Algio has a really good significant strike ratio. He's covered this in, I think, every fight in the UFC he's had. So that's 3x for half a unit there. Third pairing on underdog, plus 16.5 significant strikes for Bobby Green. I know I'm on the Dawson side, but Bobby Green has literally covered this number in every single UFC fight, win or lose. So 16.5. Bobby Green can put on a lot of volume on you, even if it is on the feet for, a minute or two. I think he could rack it up. So it's worth that. And then plus 15.5 significant strikes for Ricky Glenn. He's going to be the longer guy. Drew Dober is known for taking damage. So Ricky Glenn should be able to cover that. You're giving him 15.5, even if he gets knocked out in the first minute. I mean, he's obviously covering that. That's 3x for a half unit there. All those plays, half unit on underdog. Parlay play, more than 18.5 significant strikes for Joe Pyfer. Like I said earlier, I think he takes it slow, and he should be able to get over that. And then more than a half takedown for Bill Algio. I like the fight to go the distance. And within 15 minutes, I think he could rack at least one up. That is 3x for half a unit. Less than 32.5 significant strikes for Kudalaba. I think that fight ends early. Kudalaba, I mean, if he's going to land on you, it's going to hurt. So I don't think he's going to land more than 32.5. So take the less. More than 36.5 significant strikes for Buckley. I like that fight to probably go to decision. And Buckley should be able to rack some up. Morono's fairly easy to hit. He's pretty stationary, and he'll take it. That is a 3x for a half unit. And then the power play, the 75xer for 0.1 units. We're taking all those 4 plays. We're adding less than 51.5 significant strikes for JJ Aldrich, more than 80.5 significant strikes for Carolina, and more than 43.5 significant strikes for Kanako Murata. We get all 7, 75x. What you got?
I put a parlay play in here this week.
Yeah, it's new for you.
Yeah, and I liked it. I'm on the same thing with Buckley over 36.5. At least that's what is that what you got it at?
Yeah.
36.5. Significant strikes. I noticed parlay play, the lines don't move as frequently as like underdog and stuff. You can kind of get it and you have time to get in there and get those. But I also took JJ Aldridge under 51.5 significant strikes. She hasn't hit that number in her last 3 fights. Her last 3 fights, she's been fighting Aaron Blanchfield, grappler, other grapplers as well. She didn't even hit it in the Liang Na fight when she, had a bunch of ground and pound and all that stuff. So she's fighting another grappler here in Montana, De La Rosa. I don't expect her to hit it. I think De La Rosa just kind of suffocates her up against the cage, doesn't let her get any significant strikes off. So, yeah, 100 to win 300. My first parlay play on the premium sheet. Welcome to the big leagues to me. That's what I got.
We're on the same thing, so hopefully we hit them both.
We'll have to see if it goes well for me. We might have to dabble a little bit more.
Yeah, and like you said, parlay play doesn't hit the adjustments quite as quick as underdog. So, if you look at anything on here, go take a look at parlay play as well, because you always want to try to get the best line. Underdog is quick with the adjustments. That's why I like using the Rivals too. They don't offer that on parlay play or even Prize Picks. Rivals is I think the best as far as it comes to DFS. Like, you get some really good advantages on there. So yeah, that is the Double Leg Premium exclusive show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and good luck on your bets. We'll see you hopefully cashing out some tickets after. But Double Leg Premium members, thank you guys. We'll see you in the next video.